Okay, good morning, team. Y'all ready to get started? We shall. We've got in your board packet, you might have noticed that we've got, or in your board of managers packet, there's a lot of resolutions for new board of managers members. So I'm going to go down the list to make sure, see who's here, right? To see of the ones that we got. So from Cibolo, we have Safi Al Haddad now. Is Safi here? There you are. We
Here.
haven't met. I'm Phil. Right. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you, sir.
Welcome. So he's new from Cibolo. We have City of Converse, Jonathan Smith. No, okay. Lavernia Morgan Gore. Hey, man, how are you doing?
Morgan's not
Oh, I was about to say you don't look like Morgan.
here.
So you're the city administrator,
Yes.
right? Of Lavernia. Yeah. Okay. Correct. Okay. Isaac, I saw Isaac of Marion. Okay. Humberto, I didn't see Humberto. Brad Johnson, Chris Clear. Got him. Brandon, East Central, me, Green Valley, Dan Hubner of Martindale.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Justin, I always
Check.
I have a check. Did I do good?
Mhm.
Okay, so Justin's on here, but I don't see Justin. Devin from Springs Hill, she's on the board, but she's not here today. GVC Desti, are you here? Okay, and then Carlos from SS Water, we don't see him. Okay, so that's the new roster of board of managers. So, okay, just wanted to go over that with everybody. And then, all right, so kind of item number one, the notes are in the packet. I reviewed them. I didn't see any corrections. Did anybody have any problems with the meeting notes from last time? Okay, sounds good. Let's go to item number two.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're missing a process here in electing a chair every year.
We're doing what?
We're missing a process here in electing the chair every year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see it on here. I think that this is an informal enough group. We do this every May.
Yeah.
I'm usually uncomfortable making a nomination, but I'll do it for expediency. I nominate Phil Gage to be the chair for another year.
Thanks.
If y'all are good with that, I think you did a good job this last year and happy to have you do it again if you're willing to do it.
I'm willing.
Y'all good with that or looking for someone else?
Okay. We don't do like formal votes, right? Because we don't have the authority, but if ever it's kind of consensus, if you guys are okay with me doing it, I'll continue doing it. Okay. Thanks, Brandon. We ought to put that in the notes. I forgot all about that. Okay. Appreciate it. Let's go to item number two, the water precipitation and drought update. Adam's out, but I think there was something provided. Regina, is that right?
Did everyone get one? They were out here. Did everyone get Adam for?
Hmm.
If you have any questions, I would say email them to me, please, if you don't mind, and then I'll field them to Adam. He's out right now. They're at Wells Ranch. We have our TCQ compliance investigation that's going. Sorry. The TCQ compliance investigation is going on. So Adam and David both are out at Wells Ranch.
Okay. The only thing that I see, guys, from Adam's little handout report, and it's really not of major interest to me, but it may be major interest to the Hayes Caldwell folks, is the comment about the membrane pilot and the comment about the Paul trailers. So if y'all have any questions about that, just please email Regina and get any follow-up. I mean, I would probably have a question, but I'm not an expert in that part of the system. So, okay. Appreciate it. And then I did notice in the packet that Adam provided our standard ops report with the usage and everything. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary unless you guys did.
Y'all have the mic on? Okay.
Okay. With that, can you not hear?
He can't hear.
Is Nick speaking?
No, he's on. He just couldn't hear us.
Oh, he just texted me and said, please use the mics if you're talking. Sure thing. Okay, we can push on to item number two is kind of also in the packet already, with just the drought mitigation and everything. I mean, other than everyone's revenue taking a dip, I think the rain is good for us. But other than that, I didn't see anything in there unless you guys had any questions on that one. Okay, hearing none. we're progressing quickly today. Okay, so the water treatment plant improvement projects is, Bobby here. How do you want to do that? Oh, where's Bobby? Okay.
There.
Okay, over to you, Bobby.
All right. For the strainer project here at Lake Dunlop, they have installed all the temporary HDP, and they're removing the existing outside air piping and rerouting that. The electrical subcontractor will be on site, getting ready to begin mounting the VFDs and installing conduit. Once that's done, they'll be installing the steel. That should be getting here end of May, early June. So any questions on that project?
Yeah, just a dumb question. What is the HTP?
Pipe.
That's just a pipe.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is that like inside the building, like a bypass or something?
This is going outside the building. The temporary system it goes around outside while they're demoing the inside.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, you're right.
Okay, May, June for that one. Okay. We have another agenda item at the end where I want to talk about schedule for tie-ins and stuff,
Have that here.
but we'll do that at the end for when that agenda item comes up. Okay. Wells Ranch.
Wills Ranch, the generator project. We are now working to confirm shutdown with operations. We do have some dates, but they're not going to be till September, I believe. So it's kind of on hold right now. And that is part of the schedule.
Okay, so you said is that in regard to the generator project?
Yes, sir. Generator
Okay.
project.
Okay. All right.
Hayes Caldwell, phase one. We're now in the 5th week of 8 weeks in the tank rehab. We're going through and reviewing the methods proposed in rehabbing the tank right now. Let's see. And we are now still working to get the duct bank, the SCADA line in from the tank to the building.
Mhm.
Operations gave us 2 conduits we can use, but we're working with the engineering to confirm that that's gonna be okay. There's just, it's not feasible to go underground.
Mm.
So we're gonna have to use something existing.
Okay. When you say rehab the tank, refresh me. That's one of those bolted,
Yes, sir.
supposed to be glass lined or whatever tanks.
It's supposed to be glass line.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Which that one's not. I understand, right? Okay.
That tank is needed to be rehabbed for,
Forever. Yeah.
well, I'd say probably closer to a decade than 5
Yeah.
years.
Well, the new concrete one, right, is in service.
Yes, yeah.
And so now we've finally gotten to this one. Is there any thought of just demoing that thing and going in with something else?
If there was thought of that, I'm not aware. This was put in motion prior to me getting here, but I believe it was just not cost effective.
Hmm.
From what I understand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd be interested in how much
Well,
that's going to
my
cost.
question is, I'm sorry, Michael Saldana, General Manager, Crystal Clear, for those of you who haven't met. Is that, and I can be getting sidetracked here, please stop me, is, we're having the same issue, or we've had the same issue here at Lake Dunlap with the tanks leaking for years. I think that is something to kind of revisit as far as thinking which route to go, because, I've driven by Hayes Caldwell recently and I've seen some of the repair work that they're doing out there. I mean, I know that they've spent a plethora of money trying to get these tanks to stop leaking here, but I would imagine concrete would be a feasible and probably efficient way to go when it comes to the future of Lake Dunlap.
Yeah. I agree. I don't want to stick my hand in y'all's pocket.
As one of the entities that's on the hook to pay for that stuff,
Yeah.
that bond money has already been issued,
Mhm.
and they're supposed to be doing those repairs with that money, and issuing more debt is not
Yeah. Not
really.
feasible.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I totally understand. I mean, the problem is, I got a steel bolted tank's got a bulge in my system, right? It pisses me off because I'm having to replace it now. And, at some point, I think you guys have to decide, and money is a definite factor. But I mean, if it ain't going to last, I mean, it's almost like throwing good money after bad. I mean, it's a really hard decision, but, not one that I'm a party to, right? So I'm not, trying to direct traffic on it at all. But something to think about. You may end up spending more money in the long run just trying to make that thing stop leaking. But all of us face that same problem right in our backyard right here. how many are back there, Michael? 3?
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily speaking to what's already happening at Hayes Caldwell. I mean, that's going to go through
Yeah.
as it is. And like I was saying, there, you could tell they're making a lot of progress on it in the recent couple days that I've driven by there. Here, there's 2, or if not, there's 4, there's 2 galvanized.
Yeah.
And then there's the 4 of the 2 of the other ones. So
Yeah.
I don't think the galvanized have ever been an issue. It's always been the blue tanks.
Well, I mean, this is a larger issue that at some point we're going to have to address, because we're going to have to address it here at Lake Dunlap, because I mean, we're going to have to. And it's almost like, it's these things have seemingly to me might have reached their service life. I don't know how long they've been in service, but I think they reached their service life soon after they were installed, actually, from the stories that I've heard, but it is what it is. But okay, I understand that one. Okay, keep going, please.
All right. On phase 1, we're getting really close to getting that closed out. They're outperforming a walk right now. There is a couple items left to have them have DN tanks finish, and then we will be off this project.
Okay. And that's closing out just the ground storage tank, right? Close out phase of the ground
Phase one.
storage tank. Okay. All right, I got you. Phase 2 is just ozone.
No, phase 2 is the tank rehab and
Oh, okay.
and all that, that Primazone work out there, ozone, yes.
Okay.
And the stainless steel should be arriving early June.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is there an update on the ozone? Is there any projected date of when that's going to be in service?
Right now we had just got out of a meeting with Primazone, so we were working on getting some of the submittals sent over in order to get product release. So we're still working on getting that here, but it should be. I mean, I'll have to get back to you. I don't want to lie to you and tell you that it'll be in service at a certain time, and it won't. So
Can you get back to the Hayes Caldwell group in general? If you can follow up, Bobby, with an email to us specifically, since that is the ones that, and I'm very much interested in that as well.
So are you guys asking when the whole project will be completed, or when?
I'm asking when the ozone will be in service to help.
Okay.
Doesn't that help with the nutrient load or sorry. Yes.
Yeah, it would be in service to me when the project is complete, because you got to have it, functional for everything to work. But I will get back with a date and see if I can get you some more clarity on it.
Yeah, like I won't hold your feet to the fire. I just have board members that ask me about this. So
Yeah.
No, I'll confirm that for you.
The schedule right now has completion date, late January 2027. So hopefully sometime before that. I know y'all been dealing with the THM issues, especially Maxwell now forever. And so that's important. It's a good question.
So, I mean,
Martindale too, and Crystal Clear. Yeah.
what is interesting, I mean, I'm wondering, are you still guys battling THM right now, still having issues?
They've had issues for almost 7, 8,
Yeah.
maybe longer, almost a decade.
I'm wondering what the weather's going to do to us, Michael. What's it going to do? Is it going to make it better, worse, what?
I mean, it'll just add to less usage, which will add to detention time, which will add to the blooming of the THMs per se. So
Yeah.
it's not going to do anything better.
Yeah. Understood.
It's a significant problem. I'm not sure what y'all's readings are, but Maxwell being even further out, I mean, they've had numbers above 100 and the MCL's 80.
Really?
we have our own treatment plants, so we're able to blend that down. But it's coming out sometimes of Hayes Caldwell in violation. So
Mm. I didn't know that one. So random question, right? Related to Hayes Caldwell, like, so the TCQ investigation that's going on right now, is it just a routine?
That's at Wells Ranch.
Huh?
It's at Wells Ranch.
Oh, Wells Ranch. Is that a routine? Just the number is up?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't triggered by something?
No, sir.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Membranes. You want to talk about this membrane filter stuff?
So membranes, we're still in review on that. We got to get comments back to Garber, but we are slowly working our way through it.
Good. And I don't know this to be true, right? So I'm going to ask a random question. I know there was a back and forth, right? A meeting between, TCQ and on our side, about the trailers and getting them to approve it or whatever. Is that progressing good?
For
I mean,
the
do we
trailer
come to
at Hayes Caldwell,
Yeah.
That would be a question for operations.
Okay,
That is something that I'm not
okay.
fully aware of.
I just recall, and I'm not recalling facts now, so don't hold me to it. I recall that TCQ had questions about the new trailer and whether or not we could bring it online. I don't know if I'm recalling that right or not, Brandon, but I think I am.
You are, that's,
I'll give you some of that in David's report in just a minute. Should
Okay.
be-
She'll get it. All right. Regina will cover that in a second. Okay. Next page. Anything else we need to highlight under this?
if we're about to leave item 4, I'm just going to bring one thing to everyone's attention that I've been just kind of mentioning to Nick earlier this morning.
Yeah.
Item 4A-B, additional membrane, is
Yeah.
something that we need to get back on track with. If you may remember, we've got an agreement with Nanostone to provide additional ceramic filters here at Lake Dunlap. It requires the design of new racks, new backwash pumps, some significant infrastructure improvements to get those in place. I'm looking at Garver's report, and it looks like they may have submitted stuff to staff months ago.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back on track so we can get those. I'd hate for it to come back and Nanostone not provide those membranes to us because we've waited too long.
And that was the membrane portion I was speaking about, trying to get the comments back.
Was I just ignoring you again while you're doing your report? I'm so sorry, Bobby. I don't mean to do that to you.
I'm
Make you
okay.
repeat yourself.
I'm all right with that.
Turn in case you want to give your report.
So that was in the Garver report you said? I missed that.
Yeah, not to
Yeah.
reiterate what Bobby just said, but when I talked to Carrie this morning, we're working on those comments and getting them back to Garver. We're actively working on them.
Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay. All right, let's move on to Wells Ranch if you guys are okay. Who wants to do Wells Ranch?
I don't have any updates on Wells Ranch 3 on the Blumberg project. I'm not anything on that. Bobby, do you have anything on 2 or 14 that you want to
I
report
have
on?
2
the
and
wells?
14, yes. So we are now working with GVC on well 14. They were able to put us in a little ahead of time.
Okay,
So they'll start working on well 14 next Tuesday. They'll have 2 crews on there. The shutdown time for that well would be about 2 to 3 weeks. If all
Okay.
goes well.
just out of curiosity, who's doing this? Weisinger doing the well work?
There's Weisinger doing well work. Electrical will be done by the general contractor, and GBC will be doing some of the work there in front.
Okay, and so well 2 is back up then?
Well 2 is functional, but we cannot put wells 2 in service because it's tied to this one.
It's what?
It's tied to this well. So
Okay.
if we put well 2 into service, we void the warranty, which I'm not voiding the warranty.
So how many wells are we down?
Don't
I mean,
have
it's an
exact
operations
answer.
question, I know, but
Well, my question was gonna be on well 1. I know, is that under your purview?
No, sir.
Let me report about well 1.
No, ma'am.
I can just tell you the update on that one I got this morning. They're at 400 feet as of 9 o'clock on drilling well 1. It's going good. So,
oh, wow, they're drilling?
mhm.
Okay, that's good news. Okay, that's good news. That's a long waited for. Okay. What's up with well 2 and 13?
well, 2, he just told you.
Oh, 2, we just talked about. Okay, 13.
14?
I'm looking at item D and it says 2 and 13 repairs.
Are you looking at old notes? You're not looking at this agenda.
I'm looking at the old notes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I apologize.
I got nothing for you on that.
I was just daydreaming. Okay.
Any
All right.
questions on any of the well stuff
Yeah.
at all?
I think the only question I have is, I was on the wrong page, guys. The only question I have is I would like to know out of all the wells that we have there, which ones are down. And then, and I know this is not a Bobby question, all right, because you're not the operators, but I would like to know from the operators, what are the impacts that we could potentially see from those wells being down? All right. Are we having trouble keeping up with demand now? Because demand now is a little bit probably lower than it normally would be, and we're starting to ramp up. I mean, so all of these things, in my mind, is kind of important to kind of understand, as we enter into, what may be a wet summer, maybe a hot, dry summer, stinking no. But as we enter that time period, I mean, we're going to have, deficits that we have to police up from. So, I mean, it's like bringing together the parts, right? It's bringing together the maintenance and construction, all this stuff, bringing together operation, and what is the impact on the members, right? I mean, that's why I would ask that question, to just get a sense of, what's our capacity like now coming out of the wells. We've been without well one for a long time, right? And we've been okay, but well two and well four being down simultaneously, that sounds like three. And, they're having problems. So when do we reach the break point where we need to worry?
I can do my best to reach out and then get with the
Yeah.
operators and operations to get you an answer on that.
Sure. No, sure thing. But I think that's an important thing to know. But otherwise, I hope the investigation goes good at Wells Ranch. Okay. Where are we? We're down to
5D.
5D, the raw water leak. How's that looking?
We're working with STV to get a scope and fee, emailed Marissa earlier, to work on that and get moving on that one.
Okay. It's in service, right? It's just leaking?
Yes.
That's one of the raw water tanks. How many's out there, Michael? Raw water? Two? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. If you guys are good with that, we'll go into general topics. Item 6, Gonzalez leases. Do we have any updates on that one?
I have no updates on the particular conversation that was being had about what to do with the unpermitted Gonzalez leases. However, I do come bearing additional news out of Gonzales County that I think could influence decision making around that topic.
Yeah.
I have drafted to go out once it's completed with once we finished internal review, a memo on this topic. So I'm going to give you the high level today, but more detail is coming. On April 22nd, I believe, the Gonzales District held a special hearing with about a week's notice on the topic of a potential moratorium on new permits and permit amendments. There was some discussion, and I'm certainly happy, well, I'm not happy, but I'm willing to elaborate on the dialogue that was held. But ultimately, within about 45 minutes, the board voted to adopt this moratorium. The way it is written definitely invites some vagary as to how long this will last. I am confident in saying that what was behind this decision and interest in doing it was a lack of clarity around what the new groundwater availability model was showing. This particular model, which is developed on a 5-year cycle per development board and other state statutes, is not an ideal model. And a lot of the districts and other professionals are feeling very challenged by what it is showing and questioning what it is showing. In the absence of being able to have confidence in that, the Gonzales District made this decision to just hit pause. But it was made very quickly in the days leading up to some other deadlines related to the model and state planning. And so there has not been a plan shared going forward. What I think is most important in the immediate to know is that in discussion, at that special hearing and actually at the district's board meeting just preceding this special committee meeting, there was a lot of conversation about updating the rules to meet desired future conditions that would be tied to this model's output. And in conversation, a bit off the cuff, about what updated rules could look like, there is definitely some energy around changing what I refer to as the allocation ratio. If it has another name, please let me know, but that's what I'm calling it, which is the ratio of surface acreage to groundwater that is allocated for any given parcel. Very openly, some of the board members suggested a new allocation ratio, and it's currently 1-to-1. They're suggesting looking at 0.5 to 1 or even 0.25 to 1. Now, this is not rooted in anything, but they are significant words that I heard more than once in conversation between those two meetings, the special meeting and the district meeting just prior. And there is also a lot of public sentiment and concern in Gonzales County that would lead me to believe that that might be their starting point to look at. If can we get to 0.5 to 1 and defend it? They are, in fairness, in the process of working with consultants to develop a localized model, but it is unclear how long that will take. It's unclear if the moratorium is designed to align to that. We really don't have a lot of answers around when they're going to make any decisions or what those decisions might be. I took a look, and I apologize, my computer timed out on me, but I did take a look at what would happen if that allocation ratio goes to 0.75 acre feet to every 1 surface acre. And I did the same for 0.5 acre feet and 0.25 acre feet per every 1 surface acre to try and understand what the potential impact could be if they actually move forward. And I do want to say it's not my goal to like incite panic, but I want everyone to know about these conversations. We would be okay and be able to maintain operations pretty much up until we get to 0.25 acre feet per surface acre. When I consider that we have unpermitted leases available to us that we could potentially get permitted and help us sustain what we're currently making.
So when you calculate, we'd be okay operationally down to that level point. You said 0.25 or 0.25?
0.25.
0.25. Okay. 0.25. Are you looking at annual usage now, or are you looking at total acre foot usage is supposed to come out of that plant contracted?
Understood. I looked at what we are currently permitted to produce in Gonzales County and applied, 0.7, figured out what's a quarter, a half, and 3/4 of that.
Yeah.
And then looked at applying that same reduction to the volume of water we currently have leased but unpermitted, and looked at, can we make up enough to overcome the deficit we would incur on our current permit, if that makes sense. So for example, under a scenario in which the allocation ratio goes to 0.75 acre feet per surface acre, our currently permitted allotment would drop from, I'm going to use round numbers for ease, would drop from 8,000 acre feet down to 6,000 acre feet. So we have a deficit of 2,000. We can definitely make that up from the unpermitted leases that we have, even as they are simultaneously impacted.
So second question.
Yes.
So if they do this rule, let's say I know they're discussing this rule, they did the moratorium. If they do this rule, does it affect all current leases? It'll be retroactive to current permits?
It is very unclear what they're thinking. They do have legal counsel who is very vocal. So I don't feel unfair in saying this, but who's very vocal and a proponent of the idea of doing what needs to be done to manage the water. And he, in the special meeting, really was open about his opinion. And I'll note the board does defer to him quite a bit, but not always. But he was open about his opinion that a permit that would be impacted by this change could be subject to a takings case, but may not be. And he started going down that train of thought, which would lead me to believe that any change they make is likely to be retroactive.
Yeah. I mean, he's right. I mean, like, I'm not a lawyer, but that's just it's a classic constitutional take is what they call it, right? And so, I mean, if they did that and we had all these customers and money spent and everything, they make a retroactive rule, right? You could argue a take pretty easily, right? And the law, right? I mean, you can. So
well,
it probably prevail.
I don't know that he, yes, you can argue anything, but I don't I don't know that he agrees. Now, he's not the ultimate
Yeah.
decision maker, but his idea was sort of that they might be able to draw questions around what an investment back
Yeah.
expectation is. In particular, we're not for profit entities, so so there are some question marks around that.
So does their current rules right now require contiguous acreage in order to use that water as part of your allocated ratio, that land acreage?
Mhm. Their rules currently do not. They previously did, and about 20 years ago, give or take, that rule changed so that it would no longer be contiguous. For what it's worth, I did hear from a member of the public who is a frequent commenter and a sort of rallied community to anti-exporter sentiment. But he, for the first time that I heard, made a comment that the rule should be reverted. That didn't seem to be something that anybody flagged or that the board even heard, but he will bring it up again, this person.
Yeah. So all right, so I'm just going to big picture this thing for you guys, right? And correct me where I'm wrong, right? So we have X number of acre feet of leases unpermitted in Gonzales, right?
Yes.
And then we have X number of acre feet that we have permitted in Gonzales. And then we have a treatment plant capacity,
Mhm.
right? And so what happens is if the groundwater district starts doing things to restrict the current leases that we have probably a couple of moves to do. We could use some of our unpermitted, acreage to offset to bring us back up to the 1-to-1 ratio and be whole, but that would be at a cost, the cost of maintaining the leases. Second thing we could do is we either fight like hell, right? That comes at a legal cost, but this is all swirling around. This whole issue comes down to the landowners have, Texas law is the right of capture. The landowners have that water. They're the ones that own it. They've chose to lease it to us. And right now in the legislative session coming up next session, because we're out of session now, next session, we know for a fact that they're cracking open Chapter 39 of the Water Code, which we know is groundwater districts, right? And then so we, as Canyon Regional, through the staff, have got to figure out how we talk to, the legislators through our, focused advocacy or whatever.
Yes.
And we've got to get way ahead of this because in my mind, you got issues coming up. You got a land ownership issue. You got the Texas rule of capture. You've got regulation retroactively that would be necessarily taking out of our pocket, right? Without compensation, right? Which is a take, right? And so if all of those things happen, we got a big fight on our hands. And the whole discussion that we had about, for those of you that were here for the Wells Ranch, discussion about all these leases, we've got a decision to make because right now we're really uncomfortable saying one thing or another. We're uncomfortable moving forward with the project with the Gonzales leases for a number of reasons, mainly what's going on in the groundwater district. We're uncomfortable with continuing to pay maintenance on leases that we don't foresee actually do because we're paying for them, right? Unpermitted lease payments come due. Joan has to pay that bill. It is what it is. It's a liability. And so we're trying to decide at the big level, do we cut some of these leases so we're not paying that cost? Do we maintain them now in case the groundwater district does a retroactive rule and drop the ratio from 1-to-1 to 3/4 to 1 or 1/2 to 1 or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a strategic move, or and then maybe we're just in court after that, right? So that's kind of big picture. This is a big issue, guys. Thank you for bringing it up, Chelsea, because I follow this stuff pretty closely, and and I didn't realize that they had gone down this road. It sounds like they've gone a little further down the road than I thought they would.
Yeah.
So big deal. I mean,
Go ahead.
I did just want to note two things in response to that. The first being that CRWA, we only had a week's notice, but CRWA did submit public comment.
yeah.
I think I'm working with Trish and we'll talk with, Carrie and Regina. I think a follow-up comment would be appropriate because it was really unclear going into it what the scope was going to be. And then the second thing is, even before this, I've been working with Focus to develop some briefing information specific to groundwater challenges that CRWA has. Obviously, this has escalated the need to pay attention to that. And so we're digging into what the approach might be on groundwater, but I don't have more to report on that.
I'll just say it in this group, right? And I know we have some trustees here. I'm not sure Focus Advocacy can tackle this problem for us. I'm just going to say it. You know, I mean, it's going to take some very personal, energetic lobbying. And I've got concerns that from what I've seen, just my opinion, I'm going to say it out loud. It seems like a lot of error, not a lot of action. So that does concern me because, I mean, if we don't get our voices heard through our lobbyists on this is going to be a very bad outcome.
Well, and the challenge is you're not using a lobbyist for local issues. That's the wrong way to approach it. You're going to have to do the grassroots with your own people.
Yeah, that's true.
And your own representatives close by.
Yeah.
Focus Advocacy is not going to be the right group for this. Any lobbyist in Austin's not the right group for this. These are local politics that we've got to take care of. And then in Austin, there's got to be the focus. And I don't want to get too far in that in a public meeting because this is going to turn into something that's got to be discussed behind closed doors, maybe even Monday night in executive session because it's a serious thing. We're going to need some additional information on how our leases read on, what is permitted water. If are we leasing and paying for 1 acre only to get a quarter of an acre feet of water? How does that work? Because this have the potential to take our lease payments 4 times greater than they are today. There's a lot of questions there that are going to be very important for the people sitting in this room on the groundwater projects.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the approach up in Austin through Focus Advocacy has got to be targeting. If we're cracking open Chapter 39, we got to make sure that every single meeting had on that is we know what's going on in there. I mean, because if we don't, we're going to get some craziness in Chapter 39 it's going to be very painful for all of us that reside in Chapter 49. Which is most of us, I think, except for the cities. I think y'all in Chapter 49? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, we got to tackle this in the Alliance. Okay, cool. Okay, Chelsea, what other sunshiny news do you have for us, right?
One last thing. We have regional partners too, and I won't call them out, but we have regional partners in this too are going to be impacted as well. We need to make sure we're kind of have a coordinated approach on it too.
Yeah, ARWA will come to mind.
Yeah, and others. There are
others.
Plenty of others who are going to be under the same, confusion and so
for sure. Okay, short-term lease. Let's turn this frown upside down.
Okay. So short-term leases, I had sent out updated and I'll say cleaned up versions of the draft leases.
Yeah. So before you get into it, since we have some new faces, let me give you the 30,000-foot view. A couple of years ago, we were sitting in this room and we came up with an idea. Some of us own raw water that's laying in Lake Dunlap from GBRA, right? When we, I think last year or so, we went into, Canyon Lake was way down, right? We went into a stage, it was stage 4, right? And it was a 15% mandatory curtailment, right? And so we got together and we started saying, how can we mitigate that? Because in some cases, some of our member entities, if you follow the ops report, run a blade, right, on how much water they use, really approaching 100% and sometimes over, right? And so we're like, okay, well, Green Valley owns water that's raw, that's not being treated. The intent is to eventually treat it at some point down the road, but it's not treated right now. It's laying out there. So the idea was that the member entities, I think there's 3 of us that have a little bit of water laying out there in Lake Dunlap raw, untreated, that would take that and then we would short-term lease it to Canyon Regional for only what the cost is per acre foot. It's $193. No other prices tacked onto it. And then the staff could use that and add roughly 2,000 more acre foot to the total and make you have 2? I've got 1,000, right? So anyway, we can add some numbers and change the math on what you're actually conserving, which would make the effective. I think we got the effective rate down to 6.4% or something like that last year, 6.4, 6.5, somewhere in there, which hurt less. It wasn't 15%. And so through cooperating, if we added this extra water and just changed the math, then we could reduce the effective we're still conserving it. Like we're not conserving it, but we're just using more water to conserve, which makes everyone's piece smaller. And so Chelsea, I think, has done good work. We've talked about this a couple of times. Let's go ahead and get these leases in place. They're not a year-round thing. They would activate, this is the way I see it, and you can explain it to us. It would activate when we reach that stage, and it would be a short-term period thing, and then it would come back to us. But it would be, and the only compensation we would get is just the offset, the $193 per foot, whatever the raw water is. And that's it. But it helps the entire team, right? So that was the thought. And so Chelsea did some work I thought was really good, so I'll let her talk about it.
Well, in terms of implementation, I do have a draft document that goes over things like when this is triggered and specifies that it's intended to be short term. It has some template notices that might need to go out either to all of the members or to Texas Water Master. So I think the administrative component of it is fairly near completed. I do need to circulate that, but the written portion of it is in good shape. The leases, I think, are also in good shape because we began talking about this last year. The draft leases had been circulated and attorneys had been in touch multiple times, and I think worked through a lot of the potential hurdles and smoothed out a lot of bumps. With that in mind, the latest version I had did have so many track changes in it that it was almost impossible to read. I did a pass at that document with Ruben, so CRWA's counsel who would support in this, and he felt good about it. So I distributed a cleaned up version of that lease, having updated some of the specific information for each entity that wants to participate. And by participate, I mean contribute unused raw water, and sent that back out into the world. That was on April 10th. I have spoken with one of the potential participants' external counsel, I think on April 25th. And we had a good conversation about the one outstanding administrative item I saw, which was terms of payment. And I don't want to take up too much time getting into the detail of that, but he and I were in agreement, fairly quickly about what a good and fair approach to that would be. That particular counsel works for the same firm as the counsel of another potential participant. So I did ask if it was possible for those two to regroup before sending me a version back, just to have them talk it out. And then I'm still waiting for that, and I'm still waiting to hear back about any potential changes from the third participant. So administrative piece, 98% complete, and then I can circulate it internally. I think the big challenge is getting the contracts wherever they need to be and getting those back for signature.
So do you have a timeline?
I always have a timeline. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking, did you have a timeline? It's not because I wanted to switch it down, Chelsea, because I know that was complicated. The concept seems, simple. It's simple. It's frustratingly simple, but I know when you get into the paper, it's a lot harder, right? So what I would like this board to be able to do, the board of managers, is like when we're ready to, once we get concurrence, right, from the member entities that are giving the water, right, then I would like for the board of managers to be able to recommend to the board of trustees that, hey, this is beneficial for the group. Yes, it'll be a little bit more, cost, but minuscule compared to losing more water. So, I mean, it's just, to me, it's a no-brainer. I would like to support it when the staff is ready. So maybe June we could be ready.
I would love it if we could have everything ready to take to the board June 8th. I was, I don't know, wildly ambitious and trying to get it get it for May, but I haven't gotten enough feedback yet on the actual lease terms. So if it would be possible to start getting feedback from everybody's
so we're talking
council.
Springs Hill, Green Valley,
Crystal Clear.
That's only three?
It's only three.
Okay, we're three here.
I mean, I think if you, especially for us too, Phil, I mean, if we need to jump on our own little meeting at any point in time, I can make it work. We'll make it work. I think we can hash out the details right then and there. So we're ready to do whatever you need from us, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Then,
We'll get it done. We have the same council. It's good. It's going to be easy. We're good.
okay.
All right. So it's just, spring sales whenever you can do it, man.
Okay. Then I will probably reach out separately, after this meeting and coordinate calendars to get that meeting set, but that would be great.
Okay. Awesome. The larger group, y'all get the concept, right? I mean, I thought it was a no-brainer 2 years ago, but that was my opinion. Okay. Sounds good. Chelsea, that is awesome. We'll keep going. I appreciate you laying that out. Item 6C, I don't really want to talk about the RFQ for the public-private partnership because that's kind of curious thing unless you got something. You do?
I do. I
Okay,
just want
good.
to let you know that we have a meeting scheduled next week with the company that we chose, and we will be working on negotiating the terms of the contract.
Okay, good. And did y'all already award?
No,
You haven't notified?
We have
Okay.
not.
I'll keep my mouth shut then. Okay, sounds good. Item D, did you have anything on that one?
we have assembled the team and are in the process of starting the review process.
Oh, good. So you have responses back?
Yes.
Okay, this one, guys, I'm talking about item 6D, and it's the RFQ for the master plan. I think this one's very important. We've talked about it now for at least a year and a half. But this is what's going to enable us to identify the items that we need to, fix, repair, upgrade tanks, all that stuff that's leaking and stuff. If you don't have a master plan, you don't have a priority list, right? I mean, it's just that simple. So I was really excited about that. That's good news. Okay. Item 6C, I think the way Carrie worded this, this was about the list that we had, the Board of Trustees, Board of Managers championed, the Board of Trustees approved for the maintenance items of the plants. I just wanted to see, where the staff was on that one and how we continue to secure that win.
Right now, our big
Basically.
priority is at Hayes Caldwell with the intake, and we'll be working with STV on that.
Okay.
And then the other items we're assessing priority-wise, which ones are going to be in-house and which ones are external, and then move forward with those.
Okay. Sounds good. So do you think, so this was just passed, the board passed the list. When was that?
This past board meeting.
Our
Was it
meeting-
this past one?
It was only 2 weeks ago, it seems like.
Yes.
It wasn't that long ago. Anyway, so what I think we need to do, right, to keep us on track, and because, since the Board of Managers was pushing this, with the budget committee, with the construction committee, with the Board of Trustees, what I would like to see on future meetings, not this one, because I know I spoke to Carrie about this last week, and of course, we all hope Carrie's feeling better now, but it didn't get in the packet, but I would like to see the list, right, with what we're doing, like on those things. Doesn't have to be, rocket science, but it's like, okay, intake, this is the action, this is the next action. Just very simple, right? Because the whole idea behind this is less about the actual projects itself, but it's more about, we took in more money last year. We know we have plant projects. We've got to condition ourselves to start getting after these things, in a proactive manner. And so by actually executing these lists and take care of these problems, it's going to set us up in better stead. So we'll have less deferred maintenance is the ultimate goal. But that's what that is. So if we could do that next time, that would be good. And I know I talked to Kerry about that. I know he's out, so no problem there. Okay. Item number 6F, Bobby, this is the one I want to talk about. So in the construction committee, and, I've talked to Mr. Sherman, Nick from the construction committee, and he said, some of these projects are going to have some tie-ins, some downtime. You alluded to that. One of my concerns that I want the Board of Managers to understand as we represent our systems here is like when the shutdowns we believe they're going to happen, what is our sequence of events? Like if we're doing a shutdown on a Tuesday, okay, how are we going to notify, what to expect, what systems are getting affected on what day? Because I think it's really important for me. Everyone's in a different situation. Some folks can switch on to other water supplies. Some folks can't. So it's really important that do that. That's why I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of tell us, Bobby, what you're saying.
Well, as of right now, we do have a shutdown scheduled for 5/13 that was confirmed yesterday.
Okay. 5/13, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For Zeal Road, next Wednesday
From what plant?
for Zeal Road. So it's going to affect It'll affect both plants, Wells Ranch and Lake Dunlap, because they will be working together to help compensate. Okay. The entities that would be affected would be Green Valley, Converse, East Central, and Cibolo. The Green Valley connection at Wagner would be immediate due to the loss of pressure. Going forward, with this particular project, it's been going on for, I guess, quite some time, and a little more comfort with Easy Bell at the lead. They were trying to push a shutdown a week and a half ago with short notice, and that was just not going to work.
Right.
But going through everything, yesterday we got confirmation that 5/13 is the day right now that we have slated.
Okay.
So I will be sending out an email and getting with operations to somehow notify y'all. I think we can work something out there and hopefully have something out by the end of the day. This particular shutdown is estimated to be between 12 and 14 hours at worst.
What exactly are they doing at Wagner?
Excuse me.
What are they doing?
It's at Zool. So there is
Oh,
a
the Zool
30-inch tie-in
Yeah.
that's got to happen.
So 30-inch
Mhm.
on Zool.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So, that's cool. I understand we got to do that. There is what I would like to see, right? And I know this is on the operations side of the fence. What I would like to see is okay, if this is 13th a Tuesday,
Wednesday.
a Wednesday. What I would like to see is, the operations team bring together the list of people that we all designated, right, to be our representatives and talk through the game plan, right? Because I know for me, if it's going to affect Wagner, then I'm going to fill up some tanks, right? And as long as I can do that ahead of time and get full that night, then I'll be able to ride my system probably all day and it won't be a problem. But we should probably have like a 48-hour, let's ops team get together, let's discuss it. And then, and then Tuesday, anything needs to be policed up. If we need to quick call, fine. And then Wednesday, execute. And then I think the other thing that would be very helpful to us too, and again, I'm looking at you, Bobby, but I understand you're not the ops manager, right? But what would be helpful is throughout the day, as we're starting to sweat and our tanks are coming down and we're like, oh crap, are we going to make it? That we have some communication,
Yes.
right? That, okay, we almost got it, whatever. Give us a noon update, give us an afternoon update. And then when we're done. Give us the update. I think that would be really good because just for me, if Wagner goes down within minutes, I've got 1,000 customers out of water.
Yes.
It's immediate, right? Within minutes. So it matters a lot, right? So if you guys do that on that one, I think that'd be very helpful. And we're all tracking it now, right? So everyone write down 5/13. And I'd be really, Jan, I'd love to hear from the ops teams, ahead of time.
I'll send out an email internally, discussing this and that way they can
Yeah.
approach it.
And I just want to add, and I'll say this to you, Regina, is that clearly Crystal Clear is affected through Lake Dunlap, for everyone going west. And so whatever I think as you do this or we continue to do this, we look to what the plant reaches. So that way we can we would still want to fill up on our end. So that way we aren't drawing anything other than we need, from Lake Dunlap. If whatever we can slow down
Yes.
Yeah.
to go that direction, then that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we're a team player like that as well.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. The ops huddle would be a great way to do that. Okay. So that's one. Do you have another one?
Next Tuesday, we'll be doing a shutdown of well 14, but we discussed that earlier.
Okay.
As of right now, that's what we have. Like I said, there's the generator project will have shutdowns, but that won't be, as of right now, slated till August to October time, just waiting
Okay.
on gear.
Okay.
And that's built into the schedule.
Okay. All right. So I do just kind of circling back. I would like to know, as a follow-up from the ops side, just, tell us about the wells again. What's up, what's down, how many are up, how many down. I think there's 3 right now, but I want to just be accurate. But okay. You guys all good? So that's the only one in the near term?
Forecast.
All right. Do you guys think we're missing anything? Is that okay with you guys for the ops dudes to get on a call and coordinate via email? And I think it needs to be a call personally, but I think an email going out, set up a quick call with our point of contact list that we put together. And I think that'd be good.
Yeah, my approach will be to email internally and let them know what discussion and see how they want to reach out to y'all.
So when you say internally, you mean CRWA staff?
Yes.
Okay. Can I be internal too? No, I'm just kidding. We're one big family here, man. Anyway, Brandon, what you got?
I was going to say, that these discussions are important, right? Because we hear we have a shutdown, could be significant on the 13th. And then your answer was, well, I'm going to fill up on the 12th, but then we find out there's a well shut down on the 12th.
That's right.
So in reality, filling up on the 11th, that's that coordination.
That's exactly
It's not
right.
to be nosy, or it's not to get in y'all's business to tell you how to do things. It's only to help so that we don't compound a problem on the 12th by all of us filling our tanks at the same time. And then you're equally frustrated.
Well, I mean, it's a very larger point, right? Because, Saul's back there, right? I mean, you can ease off the plant a day if you need to, right? I mean, you can. But stuff like that we have to do. Like I can ease off the plant too, if we need to. We can all do stuff like that. But we just need a coordination device to make that happen. And it would be a great exercise. Yes, sir.
It just sounds like we're going into like our own curtailment plan for Wells Ranch for about 4 months.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, again, just a quick history. I was out there managing the facility for 5 years. So what I would recommend, and I don't think that there was ever anything put together because I don't remember ever having this many wells down at one time, would be what's the maximum output for where we're at, and then just kind of be able to address it down by each well. If well 12 and well 6 are out, what is our maximum output? If well 6 and well 10 or 11 are out, what's our maximum output? Just something that just kind of speaks to where we're at with what we're at, because it does sound like with at least 3 wells down right now and well 14 being a decent output, well 2 and well 2 and well 6 are going to be down, or just well 2. Okay, well, well 6 is 1,100 gallons, or the big ones that are the big ones. I mean, that's essentially you're putting Wells Ranch into a drought, some type of curtailment plan going into the summertime.
Without doubt. I mean, that's, we did look at putting well 2 back into service. However, with the parameters that exist, it would void warranty. So to me, that's not going to be.
I mean, that's a great point, Michael. I mean, holy crap. That's brilliant. That's exactly right, though. I mean, that's where we're kind of driving. It's like, what's the impacts? That's the question. But okay. All right, we're almost hitting an hour. I think we've had good discussion. So the Board of Trustees agenda, can you pull that one up, Michaela? This one, from what I've been told already, that this Board of Trustees agenda is relatively light. Basically, we don't have any items of general business. And then there is an executive session that's going to go in and talk about, some litigation and things that you do in executive session. So, okay. So there's no general business that we need to make a recommendation to the board on.
No general business. The only 2 things that are going to be any type of requested action will be the minutes. They were removed as a consent agenda item and just made their own action item under the same item number, just removed it as consent agenda. There'll be no financials because of the agreement or the board's vote last month to delay. Yes, and y'all approved, or they approved Marches in April.
Okay.
So that essentially wouldn't be until June if it was under the new way. And then the other item is the Tri-Hydro executive session, and then it follows with return to open session. That's where your action item will be there.
Okay, I got it. So no recommendations for the board for the next board meeting next week.
That's correct.
Sounds good to me.
Just a couple things that are important. We did at last month's meeting close out the San Marcos litigation. So that comes with a renewed interest for the Hayes Caldwell Group of now what's the next step, with the contract negotiation, but also importantly with the phased approach of the plant improvements. Obviously now without San Marcos as part of the project, it doesn't need as large or significant of improvements, but there's still Martindale, who has some water they want to process through. There's still issues with an intake that may need to continue on. So that's kind of those next steps for staff to start kind of evaluating for the Hayes Caldwell Group. Tri-Hydro, we go to mediation on next Tuesday. So a contingent of us will leave straight from the Board of Trustees meeting Monday night, head up to Austin, be ready for Tuesday morning mediation. Expect that to last a fun, good part of the day. Really, really important. If we're unsuccessful at mediation, there's still a trial date for July. So that's set in stone. The other important thing about this meeting, we were doing the evaluation of Carrie, just a quarterly goals evaluation in executive session, and I'll call it a rain delay. Had to leave early just due to some inclement weather that some regions were experiencing. I tried to schedule a special meeting to continue that discussion, and in doing so triggered an attorney's review of our video conferencing, how we needed to have people here in the space. Did we need a quorum of people present? We had some back and forth discussion, ended up having a discussion with the AG's office and determined that we are not able to hold video conference meetings here at Canyon Regional. So, and something important for your trustees to know is they will have to be in person Monday night. You cannot be on the video conference. There won't even be a Teams link sent to you for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ruben will be able to explain more about the 551, 127,
Yeah.
and 131 and all that, but
Well, pass the word to your trustees,
Yeah.
right? So if you're not already a trustee.
I did send out email to all trustees, I think it was yesterday, about that. Just very generic.
Okay, any other announcements for anybody? Thanks, Brandon, for that. Everyone good? Michaela, you good? Are you sure? Okay, I just want to make sure. She wants me to write my memo before like 2:00, and I don't know if I'm going to make it. But anyway, okay, guys, we'll see y'all next month, and thanks for coming.